Yo, what is up guys? Young Tactician coming at you with another video, and this time we're doing the jungle tier list. Yes, just like my previous tier list where I did top lane, I will be ranking jungle Poppy matchups. Disclaimer, this is my own opinion, so anything you want to feel free to discuss or really feel like I didn't hit the nail on, just feel free to let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, I'm gonna just get straight into it. So Mumu, I'd put a Mumu between even and easy. Solid as easy, just because you can W his Q, so you are good PO, not only for yourself but against your teammates. But the stun still goes through. But you do outrange him in the sense that, like, other than his Q for gap close, he has nothing else, so you could just Q and kind of kite him. Be careful for those extended trades though, because a lot of them do like going red smite and you like going blue smite, and they also like to take conqueror, so you extended trade or extended engage, he might just outright beat you. Brand jungle, I don't know, I'd probably put this even. I'd say like if you get an invade on him, it's probably like free as fuck easy, but if you guys are just pathing against each other, it could be a bit difficult. But you don't really see this that often, so it's kind of a weird one to place. Mundo, I'd put like easy. The champion is just not that good right now. It's okay in the jungle. You know, go grievous wounds. While your team should be going grievous wounds, especially if you have healing on top of it. But yeah, not really a common jungle pick. I've yet to really face it at all. And I've been jungling for about a season and a half now with Poppy, so I've probably played against it like once, so I can't really say anything about the matchup. If I had to guess, it's probably borderline easy. All right, Echo, I put Echo as an easy matchup, but you just have to be careful. If he does get the stun on you, he could burst you and then choose to follow or just kite you, whatever the case may be. But you can W that first part of his E. But the dash is fairly fast, so you got to be careful to look out for that one. Elise, I put Elise under even, between hard to even, honestly. She's just an AP champion that you do have trouble dealing with, as AP champions do tend to be the ones Poppy suck more against. You know, she has really fast clear, especially with her 3 camping, that you got to be careful for, you know, when your laner's about. You can W her Q, but the damage will still go through. So all you're really doing is placing a CC on effect, and then she could still follow through with her E, because her E is not considered, you know, a dash or a blink ability towards where the grounded affects it, if I'm not mistaken. So just gotta be careful for that. Evelyn, I put Evelyn between easy to free as fuck, but solidify her as easy just because, you know, post level 6, it is hard to keep track of her, and she just snowballs insanely out of control. But what you should be looking to do with Evelyn is just trying your best to invade her, especially like, say if she's starting blue and you're starting red, and she wants to look to full clear. As soon as you get your red, you want to look to invade her at her Gromp or something, because she's really weak. You can W her 1 dash, but chances are if she gets her dash off, then you're already charmed. So you'll be going even on CC effects. Fiddlesticks, I'll put between even to hard matchup. He's another champion where you should be looking to invade early, as he tries to do 2 camps at once, and that's where he really starts to get low. He clears the jungle faster than you. His clear is way faster than yours, and his post 6 ganking is just 10 times better than yours as well. I do struggle with this matchup a lot, especially going up against Fiddlesticks 1-tricks, so I'll solidify it as a hard matchup. You know, you can use your E to cancel his W, but it doesn't feel that good using your E in that way, because you don't get maximum value out of it. So I will solidify him as a hard matchup. Gragas, I'd have to put as an even matchup. You can W his E, but like Shen, as I mentioned in my previous video, if you are in his hitbox, the stun will still go through. This is an AP champion that you kind of struggle with dealing with, but he's not as bad as every other champion. I think this jungle matchup is like a quite even one, because your clear speed is about the same, so it actually will just come down to the better jungler. Graves, you know, I'd have to put him somewhere between even to really hard matchups, because Grave is a finicky champion. There's a lot of people that play him that suck at him, but if you come across a good Graves, it's gonna be between a hard and a really hard matchup. But chances are, if you're watching this video, you're probably not facing that many good Graves, so it'd be somewhere with even matchup. But for my other people that are in the higher heals, I'd have to put him in a hard matchup. You could W his E and his R because they're both dashes, which is nice. But the thing is with Graves is that he can still really kite you easily. Really easy to kite you, and his clear, like, he just power farms the jungle. His clear is just 10 times faster than yours, so like you'll often find yourself falling behind of levels if there's no gank opportunities being presented, and you'll be counter jungling you a lot just because of the nature of the champion and how he works. All right, so Hecarim, I'd have to put him between hard. I'd probably put Hecarim between even to hard, just because the champion is just, as it stands right now, patch 10.25, he's just busted. Snowballs insanely out of control. He gets level 4. If you both decide to full clear, he'll be level 4 while you're still doing your second big camp, so whether it be red buff or blue buff. So you guys got to keep that in mind. What you should do is just path in the opposite way so that him getting level 4 doesn't really matter. You want to avoid that confrontation. You could W his E, but the damage still goes through. And yeah, just his snowball potential is just insane compared to yours, so I'd put him as a hard matchup. Ivern, I'm actually gonna have to put Ivern at a hard matchup. This champion, like, you know, he's considered a joke for what his design is, you know, for how gimmicky he looks, but he's actually a really good champion right now, really strong. You could W anybody. If somebody gets hit by his snare, you could W anybody that tries to dash towards it. But even then, it doesn't really do that much. You're really prone to getting kited as he outranges you, and his shield is just really annoying. I honestly haven't figured out a way to deal with Ivern as of yet, but this is a matchup that I will continue looking into playing. All right, so J4, our first free as fuck matchup. Your W literally hard counters his EQ combo, so you want to look to fight him in the jungle, look to invade him with priority and things like that. You could basically just do whatever you want in this matchup. I don't really see J4 that much nowadays, but it's one of your easiest matchups. Like I said before, your W just counters 2 of his abilities because his dash is reliant on using 2 of his abilities. So you could W that, but you can't W his R, of course. And he creates terrain with his R, which can also kind of help you for landing a stun if he R someone and you can E him into his own terrain, which is kind of nice. Karthus, I'd have to put Karthus between even to hard matchup. I think I have to solidify him as a hard matchup because like he's just another one of those junglers that clears way faster than you alongside with everyone else in the hard matchup. You can invade him, but you have to be careful. It's just how good you are at dodging Qs, really, I'd have to say. And his global presence is just could be really annoying. Like he could just be clearing camps and then your bot lane fights 2v2 and he presses R and he double kills them. Kayn, I'd have to put under between easy to free as fuck, but I'd say for the power of Kayn, like I'd have to put him as easy just because he can do the same thing as I mentioned with Hecarim earlier, where he get level 4 before, while you're still halfway to your level 3. What I would do to answer this is if you have stronger laners, solo laners, it's okay to path in the same direction with them, because even if it's level 4, just because of what Poppy is to Kayn, he can't beat you 3v3 if you have the stronger laners, because your champion just counters his. But if he has stronger solo laners, you kind of just want to path against him. Even though you're giving Kayn what he wants, it just is what it is. Because the level 4 spike is just insane on some of these champions. Kha'zix, Kha'zix between easy to even. Just because you could W his E doesn't mean you necessarily beat him. If you face check Kha'zix, like on any champion, you're just taking a shit ton of damage. And he does have the stealth to play around. He could jump, he could leap from stealth, which is like, you know, really hard to W. You know, you gotta have like a 6th sense for that. So that's his play around on his W, being isolated, heavy snowball champion. You just got to be careful for him. So I think I'm going to solidify him as, I'm going to put him easy matchup. Kindred even, just because she can kite you, she's ranged. You know, Poppy's biggest weakness is that she gets kited as a champion, you know, and her range only increases the more stacks she'll be able to get. but you can W her dash. Obviously, it is kind of a clean swift animation though, so you got to be on the lookout for that. And what's nice about her is that her ultimate is that you can R people out of it, or you could E people out of it. You know, you don't have to necessarily E for the stun, which is nice too. So you do have some room for outplay against her, but just be careful for her getting like stacking her marks on you, as it is a big chunk of damage. Lee Sin is between easy to free as fuck, just because of the skill expression you can have on this champion, but I'm gonna have to put him as free as fuck, just because you can W his Q and his W. Obviously they tend to take, sometimes they take Conqueror, and in the case they do, and Red Smite, so you don't want to go for those extended trades, because Red Smite versus Blue Smite junglers, Red Smite junglers will just win like 90% of the time on extended skirmish, on duels, extended skirmishes and duels, so you just gotta be careful with that. All right, Lilia is between hard to even. She does kite the fuck out of you like everyone else, and she actually outside of fire as a hard matchup. It's the same thing with the Hecarim Kane, where she can hit that level 4, just kind of unfair in terms of clearing. But disclaimer, also jungle matchups compared to top lane matchups don't matter nearly half as much, as if you adjust your pathing to not having to interact with the enemy jungler, then the matchup doesn't really mean anything. Then it's just gonna matter in terms of when you guys like team fight, what the champion does to you or whatnot, or like on a counter gank or duels, right? So like even like a lot of these guys in the hard matchup, it's like in a counter gank, then whether or not they're hard doesn't really matter. It's just the circumstance of the gank situation. Forgot to mention that at the start of the video. Maokai, you don't really see Maokai. I don't think Maokai is like a good jungler. I've never seen it. As of recent, he's more of a support and top laner at the moment, but I'd have to put him under easy, just because he's like not that strong of a jungler. I have no experience of it, but if I had to guess, you'd put him under easy. Malphite, same thing. You don't really see him in the jungle, more solo lane. But I mean, Malphite, yeah, he could stick onto you pretty easily. But early game, like, you'd be stronger than him, but then afterwards he'd be stronger to you because of the way the tank scales. Master Yi is actually a really hard matchup. Your first really hard matchup for Poppy. He could Q your E, and then he just has an easy time sticking onto you because his Q is like a dash, but it's actually just a blink because he teleports to you. So he doesn't actually dash to you. And then he has his ultimate too, which ignores slows, so your Q doesn't do anything. And he can alpha strike your R2 if he's a good player. So you got to be careful for this Red Smite jungler. Nidalee, I'd put her between even to hard, just because she is one of those junglers that clear really fast. Any jungler that clears really like just a lot faster than you, I like to solidify them in hard, because if you face a good jungler, they could just capitalize on that. Nocturne, I haven't seen any Nocturne really. He was more of a solo laner for the past season, and then Riot kind of hard nerfed that. You don't really see Nocturne solo lane that often anymore. But if I had to solidify him anywhere, I'd put him between even to hard, because he can W your E, and his R is a dash, which he can't because it's unstoppable. You cannot stop. But he is the AD, which is good for Poppy. Nunu, really hard matchup. He counters Poppy, and I think Nunu is probably like the most elo-inflated jungler in the game because of his unique ganking patterns, where he just comes into the lane at Mach 20, and he has a really easy time of sticking onto Poppy. No dashes, phase rush abuser, just really good champion against Poppy. I'd struggle with this. Pantheon, I put him between easy to even, just because you could W his stun, but he still does a shit ton of AD damage. This is one of those jungle matchups that you do outscale, but if played well enough, he can camp a lane just because of his targeted point and click stun, which is annoying to deal with. Rammus, I'd have to put Rammus maybe between easy to even. Don't have much experience against it, but I do think with how hard Riot has nerfed tank items that he's just not that much of a threat. He's kind of like a Nunu, a weaker version of Nunu if I had to compare him, but he's really good into AD comps, so you have to be careful for that, considering Poppy is the AD champion herself. Rek'Sai, put Rek'Sai under easy. You could W her tunnel, which I forget whether that's her W or E. And yeah, like she likes to burrow through walls, or so she has a tendency of standing near them, so it's really easy to land your stuns. Rengar I'd put under easy. You just got to be careful if like he's in fog of war, he gets to jump to you. You got to always be paying attention to your character to read the animation. And you do have peeling capabilities for your carries later into the game. If he ulties, just let them know that they have to be standing on you, and just look out for that leap animation. I promise you, if you're paying attention to it, it's pretty easy to react to. Sejuani, I'd put Sejuani like easy to even, just because you can W her Q, which is pretty nice. Set even matchup, just like the top lane. He abuses Phase Rush, I believe, in the jungle, alongside with Deadman's and Hex Flash, so he actually has the tools to stick onto you with his stun. Shyvana between even to hard, just one of those junglers that power farms, but I don't think Shyvana is that good right now. The variant that people are running right now are like on hit tanky builds. AP Shyvana, I haven't really been seeing any of that. But if it's AP Shyvana, I'd probably put it to even to easy. If it's on hit, then it's even to hard. But so I'll just keep her in even. Skarner, I think Skarner is between even to hard. Like, he just has the tools to sticking onto you. Really fast champion, good ganks, pull 6. But you guys do share about the same clear speed. His is probably a bit faster. Trundle also probably even matchup, has an easy time of sticking onto Poppy. In the jungle, at least because of his pillar, which forces like awkward pathing, and he has movement speed amplifiers, so you just got to be careful for that one. Udyr, I'd probably put him as a hard matchup, because once he sticks onto between even to hard, once he sticks onto Poppy, it's like he could just combo you. You know, he has no dashes. His E is a micro dash, doesn't actually count as a dash though. And yeah, he could just melt you down, especially if it's Phoenix Dance, Udyr, even Tiger as well. Vi is one of those free as fuck matchups. Really good champion to play Poppy into. Her Q is really telegraphed, and you could just W it. Just gotta be careful for her R into Q. But yeah, Volibear also probably another even matchup. You could W his Q, but you still get stunned. Warwick is a really hard matchup for Poppy. Probably want to dodge this one. I just noticed this tier list is missing Olaf. Okay, so Olaf would be really hard as well. I don't know. This 10.24 tier list maker, it's missing Olaf. Olaf would be really hard matchup. Put him under there. Wukong probably free as fuck, same as top lane. Xin Zhao, I'd probably be between easy to free as fuck as well. Zac, I'd put free as fuck. His E is really telegraphed, you could W it. You gotta be careful for him looking on E's onto your teammates rather than you when you're not around. Then you can't really peel for them. Nautilus, nobody really plays Nautilus jungle, but if I had to put it somewhere, it'd probably be between free to easy as fuck. But once again, Olaf would be right here alongside the really hard matchup. Work is really hard because his Q goes through your E and your W. Like, it's a dash that goes through CC. That's how Riot has intended it to be. So does his ultimate. So he has a really easy time of sticking onto you. And then he could fear you on top of that. So it's just really feels bad matchup. Olaf, a series of Qs that he hits you with. You know what? I don't know. What can I do to put Olaf here? Not much. Can I do anything? Because I kind of want to include him here. Yeah, that was my tier list for the jungle meta. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I appreciate it. Let me know what kind of content you want to see concerning my channel. I really enjoyed making this video. I really enjoyed my last one. It did really well. And thank you so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.